Good morning. So I work in project delivery in the environment design practice at Bath and North East Somerset Council. I'll talk in a bit of detail about our team because it's quite unique and is the key to how we deliver our projects really. So there was a few innovative aspirational officers in the council that saw the opportunity to fill the resource and capacity gap in Bath and North East Somerset in project delivery with external funding sources. So through some successful external funding bids, mainly to West of England Combined Authority through their Love Our High Streets programme, could build and office a team to deliver some pilot projects across Bath and North East Somerset, test concepts around saving our high streets and avoiding clone towns. You can see from this infographic here what we've managed to achieve in the last year through collaborations, external funding bids and project delivery in the city centre and throughout local centres and market towns. The first project I'll talk to you about today is Milsom Street. So this is in the north of the city centre. The problem we have in Bath is that as you come off the train station, there's an absolutely beautiful shopping centre, privately managed, privately maintained, that's recently had around £3 million invested in public realm. So the issue that the local authority has is that the remainder of our city centre and retail high streets are needing to compete when we do not have public realm budgets or maintenance pots that compare. So one of the projects that we've undertaken using money from the West of England Combined Authorities Love Our High Streets pot and in collaboration with some local organisations is a car-free weekend. So this happened last weekend. This was essentially to test the concept of reimagining the space. So if we took away the lane of cars and the 2 rows of parked cars, what can we do with that space? How can we reimagine it to achieve some of the design objectives across the local authority? So what we managed to achieve, this was during Car-Free Day and European Mobility Week, is we had more than 35 businesses take part. We had street garden, we borrowed some parklets from a Scandinavian manufacturer, alfresco dining, pop-ups and entertainment. I think what was most interesting to me is that the most animated space on the street was actually just some toddlers with some crayons like scribbling on the pavement. Just by closing it off the cars, they just felt safe to just enjoy the space. Another project which kind of meets some of the objectives that I talked about in the previous one is Union Street. So this is a key north-south axis, and Bath Business Improvement District noticed that although footfall levels were really high on this street, people didn't move further north, they didn't move to Milsom Street. So we delivered a project with SIL, or in the process of delivering, to increase dwell time, have people stay on the street, move further north, and we worked really closely with the business community and Bath Business Improvement District to deliver a 2-phase project. And again, this is testing concepts, understanding how the space works when we make these interventions prior to any major public realm investment. So we've delivered last week most of phase 1, so unfortunately I don't have any of the photos because I had to send this through last week. But this involved new street furniture, planting, animation and events, and we're also undertaking a street trading pilot which intends to redesign the layout of street trading across the street to open up vistas, open up movement, give new canopies to street traders to create a kind of unified Union Street independent traders cluster to make this more of a destination for the street. Now moving on to local centres. A local centre just outside Bath City Centre is Twerton High Street. This is what we'd consider a failing local centre, really high vacancy rates. But we saw the opportunity to link with a community-led redevelopment of the football club here. And to essentially extend that development through increased public realm intervention. So working with landlords, working with the developers and with the community to see how we can extend the positive benefit of that redevelopment scheme through short-term and long-term interventions. So by linking up with the community-led regeneration scheme to extend the public realm impact, they made some empty vacant units free for pop-up use until the redevelopment commences, if it gets planning permission, and through a street demo co-design process to redesign that space. So I just want to dwell on the pop-up shop for a second, just because this achieved way more than we ever expected it to. So we saw the opportunity to link Bath Carnival, which really struggles to find affordable space in Bath City Centre, with this pop-up shop, and they've been using it as their making space in advance of the carnival. And they've managed, by having this space, they've managed to do more outreach than ever, more workshops with the local community, extend the scope of the carnival massively and it's been the biggest carnival to date, and they're hoping to extend their stay in the pop-up shop indefinitely until the redevelopment commences. And this was, thank you. So this is just an example of a local centre having animation on the street, but also impacting huge animation within the city centre annually. And that's a connection we hadn't envisaged, and it's been really great for all involved. And the final part I'll talk about is another West of England Combined Authority Love Our High Streets project, where we, in addition to the pilot projects that I've identified, we also obviously wanted to spread the benefit of that funding across the local centres across Baines. So what we are undertaking at present is a local centres vitality health check. So we've got 32 local centres, 1 district centre, and we basically wanted to undertake the audit to see if we could identify projects that we could deliver through this funding. The health check looks at all sorts of things, historic built environment, streetscape, land use mix, vacancy rates, things like that, so that we can take this holistic view of all of our local centres by using these various placemaking measures essentially, to identify interventions that we can then work with local communities to deliver. I think I managed to do that without the foghorn. Please follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at Love Our High Streets, or add me on LinkedIn, because we'd like to share learning. We'd like to learn from other local authorities and other approaches to inform future pilot projects and hopefully future successful funding bids. Thank you.